And what do you love most about being a yoga instructor?
Um, I like kind of just guiding people to like tune into their bodies because yoga
Mhm.
for me is more like I care more about the mental aspect than the physical aspect. Of course, it's like a bonus, just
Yeah, yeah.
like the physical aspect, but it's more about the mental for me because I started doing yoga after I went through like a really kind of not I guess trauma. I did have like a traumatic experience. So I went into yoga. My friend brought me to like my first yoga class, and then I felt like it was something that I couldn't get from like a gym workout. It was giving me enough space to kind of tune into my emotions and my thoughts. I don't know how to
Right.
explain it, but it was kind of like
Yeah.
a magical moment for me. And then I started going more often, and then I started really liking it. So I've been
So
doing
it's
it on and off,
kind of
like
like
a
a
meditation.
meditation. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yes,
Okay. Nice. Nice.
yeah,
I guess there's like different form of like, like when somebody like go to the gym and like lift weights, they feel like it's like a stress relief to them. And for you, I guess it's yoga.
yeah, yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Because
So where,
normally after I go to the gym, it's like I get really tired and groggy. But then
mhm.
after I do a yoga practice, it's like the opposite. I get more energy from it.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. So where do you practice now, or in this pandemic?
I've just so during the pandemic, I've only been practicing at home.
Uh-huh.
I've used apps before, and then I went on to training. So now I just keep like a personal practice, and sometimes I do online classes too. So the studio where I did my training, they're offering live stream classes, which a lot
I
of
see.
other studios are also doing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, but I just do it online now. I think everyone, like most people, are doing it. Actually, no, they've closed a lot of the studios.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
Well, stage two right now, right?
yeah, so it's all
Yeah,
live stream
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what's the studio that you practice at?
So I practice at Downward Dog Yoga.
Okay.
They're located in downtown Toronto,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I did my training pretty much online, and now they're offering classes online too. So you just log into Zoom and then you practice with the teacher.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's get a little bit off topic here. What's your favorite healthy meal and your cheat meal, your
I
go-to cheat meal?
I I don't really have a healthy meal. I try to eat. I don't really have that kind of knowledge, or I'm not. I don't know. I just don't. I don't have a healthy meal, but I try to eat balanced. So if I eat like a really heavy meal one day, I'll probably go for a light
Mm-hmm.
day the next day,
Yeah,
and then I try
yeah.
to eat a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Yeah, nice.
I don't really have a cheat
Um,
meal. My cheat
no.
meal might be like a bubble tea because I know it's like really bad for you.
Can't go with any boba.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the or three exercises or poses that you would like people to incorporate in their daily lives?
I feel like for people who are working at their desk a lot from home, something that would be helpful would be like hand stretches. So just staying at your desk and just stretching your hand, grabbing your wrist the other way, and kind of just like stretching this way or this way, just holding the stretch for a bit, just feeling it stretch on top, and then some spine movement. So like doing twists at your chair, um, just grabbing your knee with one hand and just twisting the other
Yeah.
way. Um, that helps, and just like neck stretches at the desk. So making like neck circles, or even like holding the head like this and just pulling back one shoulder, and just
Mm-hmm.
feeling that stretch is helpful too for a lot of people that work at the desk a lot.
Yeah, I know like some of my members are like, before pandemic they're working like 8 hours. Now they're like 10, 12 hours.
That's what I
After
heard too.
after dinner they're like still working.
Yeah. You'd
yeah,
think that working from home works out like everyone can just log in and log off, but I've been hearing a lot of people are pretty much on call the whole day.
yeah. They wake up and they're like, right at their desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, they can wake up later because they don't have to commute. But
Yeah, I think that's
they're
the
like,
only good part
yeah,
about it. And then the rest is like, oh, I'm working even more than I did before.
yeah. And then they
Yeah.
they can dress up whatever they want. I mean, just be in their
Yeah.
PJs.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um. So I guess you kind of answered this already. Anything you want to add, like in terms of how yoga has helped your uh, how do you think yoga has helped you to live a healthier life? And then how
Uh,
often do you practice yoga now, personally?
I try to practice yoga every day, even if it's not like a full 1 hour, 1 hour and a half practice. I'll still try to do like 15 minutes, 20 minutes just by myself. Um, I have mentioned that it's more about the mental aspect of it. I feel like even if for people who are not interested in yoga, just practicing mindfulness is really, really helpful, especially now because you're at home all the time. I've been trying to meditate every day just so I can kind of feel for myself and know how to better guide my students. But even if you're not into yoga, just taking a minute or two, just sitting there, no sound, no noise, just taking inhales and exhales, just taking a moment before. And I heard my friend also like suggested that like I try this. So like after you do one activity, just pausing for a moment and just taking a breath before you do the next activity will also help. Just grounding yourself it makes a difference, I feel like. And for even for people who don't do yoga, just being more mindful is helpful, I think.
So I guess for someone, could you demonstrate, like for someone who has no idea about yoga or meditation, how would you kind of introduce them to it with meditation?
Um, just being aware of your breath, I think. Just for example, like when you're, let's say maybe not working, maybe not when you're working, but uh, I like to talk about this when you're doing dishes. Just really feeling the sensations of like doing, just really paying attention to what you're doing in that moment is a form of meditation too. So even when you're doing something simple like making a coffee or doing dishes, and you're paying a lot of attention to what you're doing, feeling how it feels with like the water on your hands, or just tuning into what you're doing, I think it's good. It's a good way to pay attention inside.
Okay.
So just trying to like incorporate more of that mindfulness in what you do, and then slowly over time, you'll find that you're better able to pay attention to what you're doing at that moment
Mm-hmm.
and not letting your thoughts kind of distract you.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
So like more like just focus on that one thing
Yeah.
you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, last question. So as a yoga instructor, what's one piece of advice you would give your audience to live a longer and healthier life?
I think the same thing. Just because yoga is not, there's a lot of spirituality and a lot of the mental aspect in yoga. So I think like a piece of advice, even if you don't practice yoga at all, is to really just pay attention to your inner self, kind of like just tuning into the breath and like feeling those sensations in your body. Just I think that's so just basically what I said earlier. Um, Practicing mindfulness is really important and really helpful, I think. And how do you practice mindfulness? Simply by just um, start incorporating more attention in your daily activities, or even just taking pauses to find your breath, sitting by yourself, sitting with yourself for a moment, just to like ground, like just to find calm for one moment, and then continuing on with your day already makes a huge difference.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Especially like during these times, everyone's kind of like panicking a little bit, I think finding time for yourself to just focus on like even breathing, like you said, like calming would be, yeah, pretty helpful.
Yeah, because sometimes even now when I go grocery shopping, it's like a lot of stress even when you go into the grocery store, and then you
Yeah,
come home
trying
and
to
you have
find
to
that toilet
disinfect
paper.
everything. Yeah, right. And then you come home and you're disinfecting everything, you're making sure you're washing your hands. Just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much more extra work, and you're
Right,
just
right,
like,
right.
okay, just sit by yourself. I'm gonna sit by myself for a moment, just take a breather, and then I'll continue doing other things. Just so like I'm more
Focus.
just, yeah, focused.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else you want to add, or?
Um, Not really. In terms of yoga, no, I know that yoga is not for everyone. I do want to, like, my ultimate goal as a yoga teacher, the reason why I wanted to become a yoga teacher is to introduce yoga to more people. But I do realize that I do know that like a lot of people feel like, oh, it's too slow for me, it's too boring, it's too, I know that people are not, like, not everyone loves yoga. I think like one way to change that is to really um, first of all, tune into that meditation part of it, to make people realize to do it like incrementally. You can't force yourself to go into like a 1 hour practice. Maybe just start with like some breathing, and then see if you feel differently. And then if you do, maybe moving into some poses like progressively. I don't know what else I can add to it. I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
No, I agree with that too, because even when I start off with like my members like working out like a brand new, I teach them how to breathe. And
Yeah.
like breathing is so important, like not only like to calm the body, but breathing in terms of helping your body to brace itself under like a certain load. So breathing, I think, is very underestimated on how important exercise and like yoga is.
Yeah.
And I think people don't practice that enough. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this stigma that yoga is too slow, or it's always the same thing, but there's actually a lot going on every time you do a pose. It's not just, you're not just standing. There's a lot of engagement, and I think people have that stigma. And like I guess one of my goals, or one of my ways to introduce it to more people, is to I guess like change that stigma, change that kind of thinking that it's slow. There's actually a lot of work going on. It's not as boring or as easy as people think it is.
Right.